We got Christian over here. Hi, Christian.
What's up, guys?
Hey!
There it is.
How are we gonna get it back in?
That's the question, bro.
Wow.
It's a leaky boy.
Oh, yeah.
Mariposa, right? So, we just flew in to San Jose.
Yep.
Because last week, Nikita came up here for an event in his 8.6, and then while he was driving back on the freeway, the thing just started rod knocking.
Yep.
Shoots a rod through the... Oh, no!
So, we flew in yesterday. Then after that, we went and drove up to go pick up another 4A GE to go put into Nikita's car, so that way, rather than towing Nikita's car all the way from NorCal to SoCal, we could just engine swap the car in NorCal and then drive it back down to SoCal. So we went and bought a 4A GE yesterday to go swap back into his 8.6, but we don't know the condition of it at all, and we bought it for $350.
Even he didn't know the condition of it.
Yeah,
He said it came from an Ae86, but it actually looks like it came from an MR2, so we know nothing.
so this is gonna be fun, and we'll update you on the progress, obviously. And yeah, let's get started.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is the beautiful $350 engine that was bought yesterday. Now, obviously, the throttle body is facing towards the back, so it's not an 8.6 like the dude said. On top of that, the harness is cut on there, which doesn't really make sense. And the distributor's missing.
And it has no oil cap.
And it has no oil cap. And it's actually a little bit dirty in there, so that's a little worrying.
This is junk,
Adam thinks you should just give the car to a friend up here rather than fixing it.
Yeah, fuck. $350 paperweight is what this is.
We're gonna find out.
What the fuck is this?
So the first thing we're gonna do is diagnose to see if this engine is even good to swap into the 8.6, because otherwise we'll just fly back and cut our losses.
Yeah, pretty much. So we got the motor on the stand, and now we're gonna take out the plugs, because they'll tell us a lot about how messed up this motor is.
So this is gonna be fun. It doesn't seem that bad.
It's not that bad. Maybe a bit oily, but it could just be running rich. It's not terrible. Okay, that's 4. Alright, so now we got number 3. That seems fine. It's a bit clean. Like, too clean.
No, it seems all sooty on the inside.
I'd just say swap the damn thing and send it, dude. Fuck doing the diagnosis.
Okay, that one is definitely a lot more oily. This one's fine.
Yeah.
They're all a bit on the wetter side, but I mean, that could be anything. No, every cylinder is running a bit different if you look at them. Look at the differences in the plugs.
Yeah,
these are normal.
2 and 3 are just
That's a bit
weird.
lean. That's a bit of oil in it.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it won't make it 400 miles though. Let's see if the motor spins.
It's actually spinning pretty nice.
Yep. Okay, well, at least has a crank, so we know that much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the screwdriver test. So what you do basically is you put a screwdriver down a spark plug hole, and then you turn the motor until it's just past top dead center, preferably on a compression stroke, which I don't know if that's you can see the cam. There you go. When it starts coming down, that's when you stop. So what that does is that basically pushes the pin on the crank against the bottom of the rod journal. So now they should be play above it, and we can test that play by pushing down hard on it. And if it makes a clunk, that means you have a rod knock. Nope, that one's pretty tight, so that's good.
Clunky boy.
Yeah. Nope, solid. That's good. They all seem solid so far.
Solid.
That's a good sign.
Now we're gonna cut open the oil filter and see if there's any metal shavings in there. Got it all opened up now.
Let's see what we got. Okay, there she is. Well, that looks fine. Kind of just go through this and kind of look and see what the filter caught. Look, I mean, dude, the filter is fine. There's nothing in it. I think this might actually be a good motor as long as it makes compression. I think we should do a leak down from here on. If the leak down is good, then we just
Put it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's, you can run 400 miles even with a dead cylinder.
Yeah.
As long as the ring's unbroken in half, literally, you know.
This is cylinder number 1.
What the fuck? Like, who the fuck tuned this? How does this make any sense?
Alright, so we think we have this figured out now.
This tester sucks, so I don't think it's going to give us an accurate reading.
Yeah.
The way it works is kind of really dumb.
Yeah, we kind of knew that by the reviews already, that the gauges were absolute garbage. But this looks at about, what, 27, 28% leakage on this one. What are we doing now?
3.
3? That one seems fine as well.
That one's like has none.
That one's fine as well.
Assuming this is doing anything, which I don't know if it is, but we kind of tell by the noise though. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's run it. Why not?
Yay.
Let's see what happens.
We should just take off the header too and just check it.
Yeah, we'll take the header off for sure.
This tool is not very helpful at all.
Damn, that's a big boy.
It's a big boy, big toy.
Big boy. Oh my.
Literally pooling oil in them.
Oh my god, like wet, 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 dry.
That's not good.
I can literally see this valve seal leaking, dude. Even on the cylinder. It's dripping down.
Either way, let's just put it in because it doesn't seem to be that bad.
And the pistons themselves, they don't look any wetter than number one. They're all pretty freaking similar.
Nikita, what's the conclusion?
So the conclusion is, we don't know what the leak down is. That leak down didn't really tell us anything. But what we do know is that number 2, 3, 4 runners are wet with oil. Number 1 is dry for some reason. That's weird. So because of that, I kind of feel like the most likely scenario is that all the valve seals are leaking. If you actually look down, you can actually see oil even pulling down the valve stem, like literally dripping down the valve stem on the cylinder as well. And valve seals do go bad when you get this old. And the reason why I think it's valve seals and not rings is because the intake manifold, I mean, yeah, it's gunked up, but it's not wet. Like if you look inside there, if you look inside the manifold, right? I mean, yeah, there's gunk in there, obviously, because it's an old engine. But the thing is, if you touch it, it's not really wet. It's pretty dry. So if it was piston rings, right? These cars don't have PCV valves. Like there would be oil pulling up in the manifold if the rings were bad. So I think most likely is that particular oil issue is from the valve seals and exhaust valves, which I mean they do go bad pretty easily and often. So we're gonna send it.
Yeah. So game plan is right now we're just gonna leave the trans in the car so I don't have to drain fluid and then refill it up with fluid. We can unbolt the trans from the engine fairly easily with the engine still in the car. Pull this engine out, swap everything off of this engine onto that one because that one's from an MR2, and then take that engine, put it back in here, and I mean that's pretty much it. Hopefully just drive it home.
Yeah.
Solid. So we got Christian over here. Hi, Christian.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
He has a cool YouTube channel, and you drift a Subi as well as an S13.
Yes, correct.
Both of which are pretty low and have like super tight fitment.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to
so I
fit
approve of both those setups. Pretty sick. It's pretty sick.
Thank you, man. Another thing you can add to that is I actually learned a lot from Offbeat Garage, so you can add that in there too.
Aw. Thank you.
You're welcome, bro.
But anyway, so we got radiator out, radiator hoses, the clutch fan, motor mounts unbolted, trans unbolted, starters unbolted, fuel lines disconnected,
Bumper's
the
gone.
harness is out, the bumper is off in the front so the cherry picker can fit up front. Starter's off. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it, huh?
All right, guys, the motor is about to be pulled.
You have dual wielding.
Nikita, how strong is your pull-out game, bro?
Oh, dude, it's pretty strong.
Kimbo vlogger.
By the way, guys, I am double fisting it. I'm helping Adele film
For Offbeat.
But I do think we should put a tranny on.
Because you know, filming with one camera and sending the footage to the other person is just too overrated.
Yeah, it's,
right?
it is. It's like, what's your Gmail, bro?
Footage at all. It's not the 21st century at all. You know what I'm saying?
All right, you go left, I go right. And then we yank the dual do this bitch.
Ooh, there's the split. The separation.
Go higher on the engine.
More?
One more. Okay. Yank.
Hey.
There it is.
How are we gonna get it back in?
That's not a question, bro. We'll play it by ear,
That's
I guess.
a problem for Adele 30 minutes from now.
I just need to change the tilt of the engine. So I'll probably stand on the front and you yank the exhaust up.
That should be fine. Last vlog you said she can only handle 4 guys. She's taking 2 right now. I think she'll be good.
Oh, he did say that, didn't he?
Sab, Nikita.
No.
He's on the hoist. Like it ain't no thing.
My OSHA, the OSHA and me can't look at this.
It's like, what is happening in my parking lot?
Yo, he's all good though. Check out them AMG shoes, dog.
Yeah, dog.
Dude, Mercedes AMG sponsored, bro.
Baller.
Those shoes are worth more than my truck.
As long as this happens in the parking lot and not in my shop, I'm not liable for anything that happens. It's great.
Let's drop it
It's
down
like
and
binding
tilt
on the studs for the header right here.
We need to get the angle right.
You guys need a what?
Let's get the angle right.
Thing right.
Angle right. I thought I heard angle grinder. I was like, you're not gonna do that.
Christian's under there, taking off the header bolts.
Stubborn.
We need it. We need the motor to angle up.
All right.
Here. Put the fat one in there.
Ooh, it's coming out, boy.
Pulling out. Sneaky boy.
Yeah. Rod knock engine out. MR2 engine over here. So now we're basically going to transfer all the header, intake manifolds, distributor, clutch, flywheel, valve covers.
Everything.
Everything onto that thing, even including alternator too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the alternators are different positions. So.
Yeah, no, we're going to swap everything over.
Oh yeah, let's go get gaskets. So we just went and picked up some oil, so we have some cheap oil to flush out the engine with, since it didn't have the distributor in, nor did it have the oil cap on it. Then we also got this castrol over here, which we're going to be running for the drive home. Then we got intake manifold gasket, exhaust gasket, as well as valve cover gaskets. And then we got 2 different types of oil filters. So this one is just going to be running initially, just to make sure any debris or whatever gets caught in this one. And after that, we're going to be running this K&N one, I believe, for the long distance drive home. And then we also got some brake cleaning. Horrible. So basically I have this thing stripped down, and look how cute these little butterflies are in here. Mariposa, right?
It's basically made for ATVs, dude. Look at it. It's called TVIS. It's the Toyota Variable Induction System.
Oh wow! So this is for.
Yeah, you see how the only
my God.
on every other runner.
So this is like for one intake or
yeah,
one
basically
cylinder,
basically what they do is they close one of the runners off at low RPM, and then they open them both at high RPM. Because the runner volume is too big to make any power down low.
That's pretty sick. So just the water pump that's left, and then valve covers, and we're Gucci, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we took off the valve covers. Everything's looking pretty good. Like these cam lobes look really nice. They're like honestly like very nice and pointy, so they don't seem rounded out. And there doesn't seem to be any crazy scoring on anything either. So I mean, I think we lucked out on this one.
Yeah, it's definitely doesn't have a rod knock or anything.
Yeah. I think the only thing that will remain is like the oil pan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What should be different?
Yeah.
We should measure.
Honestly, we should. So this is the new engine from the MR2, which now has all the stuff swapped over from the 86. So on here, the only thing original that was left on here was the oil pan. Other than that, like crank pulley was swapped over. The oil filter, like sandwich situation, was swapped over. Different header, EGR was all done. Motor mounts, obviously. All the little brackets down there. All this EGR stuff was swapped over. The intake manifold, we even swapped the valve covers, although that's not necessary, but we did swap over the valve covers just because these ones look nicer. Put new valve cover gaskets. The water neck over here, the water pump, the alternator bracket, the front cover is even different on here. So pretty much the only thing that was on here was the block, the head, and the oil pan. Other than that, everything was different from the MR2 and the 86. So that is the current situation. We have this reassembled, and I think other than that, oh, we still have to swap over the flywheel and the clutch, which I'm looking at right now. And then we're probably gonna call it a night. And then tomorrow morning we'll begin putting that engine into the 86, bolting it up, and then hopefully it starts up and we'll drive back tomorrow.
Yes. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean, I hear Nikita's placing side bets here. Like,
yeah, we're also taking bets on how many cylinders this thing's gonna be running on.
Yeah, we are doing that.
And then of course,
I think we're gonna get 3 cylinders.
3?
That's what I think. And I don't know which one's gonna be. I'm just randomly guessing. The chances are at least one of them's bad.
You think that's why it was $350? Because if 4 cylinders would probably be $400.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Probably.
So maybe 3.5 that are running.
He gave you a $50 discount because 1 cylinder's running half as good. Ring lands are probably done.
Probably.
Rod bearings probably. I'm just fucking around.
And then Christian is gonna have a video up on his channel too, probably way before mine.
But this guy knows his shit. So does Nikita. So.
Nikita,
I just lost the freaking bolt.
So we're going through and throwing away all the parts off of the MR2 Ae86 that we don't need. So there's a whole collection in the trash over there. And then we'll be keeping extra stuff like the AC compressor, valve covers, the crank pulley, little butterfly setup just because that's kind of cool. And then possibly alternator. That's pretty much it, I think. So we got everything cleaned up now, put back in the garage. So we're gonna come back tomorrow morning and hopefully be able to put that engine into the 86 and crossing our fingers that it's actually a decent engine and we could drive back the 350 or so miles, I think, to the house, and then we can pull it or run it or do whatever, but at least we'll get it home. Yeah.
What's up?
What's up?
Oh my god, it's my first time on the Offbeat channel. Damn.